What is up guys, it is a new day and in today's episode, I'm gonna paint this SUV completely at home by myself without any professional tools, but this 2018 Salvage Santa Fe Sport didn't always look like this. A few weeks ago, I bid for this front collision SUV at the auction and brought it home for only 3,600 Canadian dollars. And since then, I have removed and replaced its entire front end, replaced all the brakes and tires, and also got the electric stuff working. But after I purchased the car, I found something smelling really bad inside the car, and it turns out the previous owners of this SUV were big fans of Snoop D-O-double-G, if you know what I mean. And it has been a nightmare cleaning this car and getting rid of the grass smell. Thankfully, everything works well today, and that brings us to the final 72 hours before my wife moves to Canada. And that is when I am supposed to present this SUV to my wife as her homecoming gift. So in today's agenda, I'm gonna paint this SUV completely at home by myself without any special tools, and I'm gonna let you be the best judge of the results. One of the things I need to do before prepping this car for paint is to body fill any dings and blemishes that might become evident in the new paint. If you remember, this side is clean and there is no problem or collision on this end. So all the lines match together and the gaps between the bonnet and the light is all aligned and perfect. But on the other side, the bumper and the bonnet still does not align, so I have to straighten this up and bring up the bumper a bit forward so that it aligns properly with the bumper here. As well, as you can see, this line goes straight from here, but it goes inwards towards here, so there is this bend, so I have to pull this upwards. So this side has to be pulled upwards a bit so that I can create a small gap here and also pull this line out. So that's one of the body works I'm gonna have to do. And the other body work would be here on the fender. So here, if you remember, I had to straighten this out too because of the main collision. So I'm just gonna push this fender from the inside outwards so that this fender aligns properly with the light here. And once it starts aligning, and I can follow the body line and come back right here, where this fender also has to come out a bit because I know that the bumper positioning is fine. So this fender was the one which I hammered in the beginning to get rid of this dent here. So which is why probably the fender went a bit inside. So I'm just gonna have to pull it outwards so that I can line up with this here. Other than that, there are a lot of deep scratches which cannot go even with polishing. And these scratches are deep enough that I can't just polish on top of them. So I need to scuff them and repaint these areas. So I'm gonna go ahead and mask all of the car on this end and just keep this work area empty so I can scuff them and paint the whole bumper along with this small section of the area where I'm gonna work. And I'm gonna try to feather out the rest of the paint because I don't wanna end up painting the whole front end of the car unnecessarily. Alright, I did some more repairs here. Now this area is much more straighter and it sits properly with the bumper and the headlights. And here I also tried my best to pull this fender out as you saw in the time lapse. As you can see, this is properly aligned and everything looks perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding these paint off and try to scuff this area evenly so that these scratches are disappeared. And also, as you can see, the bumper has a lot of scratches and blemishes that needs to be sanded away. So after I'm done scuffing all the places which needs attention, such as this one and these scratches, and similarly on the other side too, then I can go ahead and apply some body filler to make things smoother. Alright, dry sanding is now done and this is what it looks like now. The next step is to wet sand this to make it smoother, starting from the driver's side fender and slowly moving towards the passenger side. This front section across the body line of the hood will also get wet sanded and prepped for paint. And it seems very smooth already and so far it looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and wet sand this now with a 400 grit wet sandpaper. Alright, scuffing is now done, and now I can go ahead and apply masking tape around the car so that I can protect all the areas I don't want to paint. For example, the hood will not be painted completely, only a section of the hood will be painted. So I'm going to have to mask the hood in a way that I can feather out some of this section here. So when I apply the spray paint, I apply directly towards the work area, not in a way that it goes inwards. So I'm just going to direct it downwards so that all the spray falls down this way, and whatever leftover paint atomizes and goes this way, which I'll try my best to feather out and mix with the OEM paint. So now I'm going to go ahead and mask the whole area to look from this to this. So I went ahead and masked the whole car to apply primer, and carefully I only exposed the areas where primer and paint has to be applied. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply some primer, but before that I'm going to wear my respirator mask to protect myself. Now I can wipe the scuffed and masked surface with a static wipe, and the static wipe will make sure that all the dirt, dust and static is removed from the surface before I can apply primer, and this static wipe will be included in your paint kit. If you're like me who wants to do DIY paint job at home, there is no better paint option than Scratches Happen. You may have previously also seen me use Scratches Happen products on my previous Honda CR-V Salvage rebuild, and the results were outstanding. In today's episode, I'm going to use an aerosol complete paint kit by Scratches Happen. The process is very simple. You check your VIN and the paint code mentioned on your VIN plate. Then go to Scratches Happen website and input your car details. Their website has all the relevant information and the suggested paint kit for your DIY job, starting from chips or minor scratches to a complete paint kit for the perfect finish. Scratches Happen guarantees color match, and in case you have difficulty matching your metallic shade for whatever reason, you can always reach out to their customer service and get help almost immediately. In the complete paint kit by Scratches Happen, you will get primer, base coat, clear coat, masking tape, test cards, wet and dry sanding paper, tack cloth, painter's gloves, polish, as well as static wipes. Which means for your DIY paint job, you only have to put an order with Scratches Happen and they will take care of all the supplies. Scratches Happen has served over 1 million satisfied customers across US and Canada, and they take pride in their quality of paint. You can enjoy a 10% discount on your order using the code BuildFixCars. Huge thanks to Scratches Happen for sponsoring to this episode. Now let's test the color match. Alright, it is the next day and the primer has dried, and as you notice that all the masking tapes are brand new, and that's because I wanted to make sure all the masking is done properly before I go ahead and start painting the car with the base coat color and clear coat. Now the car has completely dried with the primer, so I'm going to go ahead and start dry sanding it with a 2000 grit sandpaper using just my hand and a small block. As you can see, the surface of the primer is very rough, so I need to sand them down to make sure all the roughness is gone away and it's completely smooth. And I'm going to make sure I only do dry sanding because this is a waterborne paint. After dry sanding, I need to wipe off all the dust with the tack cloth, and after I scuff the surface up, I can then go ahead and start applying 2 to 3 medium to heavy coats of base coat. Alright, scuffing is now done, and as you can see, all the primer is sanded and feathered with the factory paint enough that when I run my fingers over this area, I will not know if there is a transition. This means now I can clean the whole area with a clean, lint-free tack cloth to get rid of the dust and nibs. And shortly after cleaning, I can start spraying the first light layer of the base coat. I'm going to make sure the masking tape is good and remove excess tape if necessary. And this is so that the base coat settles properly and doesn't leave abnormal spots. This will help me prevent any extra work after the base coat. The base coat color mix I have today is from Scratches Happen, and the paint code is Hyundai TU7 that is made for this 2018 Santa Fe Sport. I'm going to test the color match on a test card first before I spray on the car, and once I'm happy with the match, I can start putting 2 to 3 layers of medium heavy base coats. To test the paint, I'm going to follow the Scratches Happen aerosol spray paint instructions, and you can download this for free on their website. First, shake the aerosol can for 1 to 3 minutes and then spray evenly on a test card. Wait for it to dry and apply a layer of clear coat. Something you should remember is that you can only try to color match after the clear coat has dried on the test card. Here is the test card after 2 layers of base coat and 1 layer of clear coat, and it's dry now, so I'm going to place it side by side under the light to see the different angles and shades. And something you should note is that fresh metallic paint will always have a slight shade difference, and that is due to the fact that the old paint may be faded or hasn't been polished recently. And the best way to test a color match is usually under sunlight. But for now, I'm happy with the color match, so I'm going to start spraying the first layer of the base coat. Alright, it is the next day and the paint is completely dry. Check out the color, it looks amazing. Yesterday the wet paint seemed to have a slightly different shade, but look at this. Today the paint has dried and matured to a perfect color match. Here the matte portion is the new paint, and as I move to the right, the reflection is the old paint. As you can see, the paint match is exactly on point, and I am super happy with the results. So this means I can now start applying the first layer of clear coat. For the clear coat, the first layer will be a light coat, so I can create a foundation for the second layer, followed by the third or maybe even the fourth layer of clear coat. And once the clear coat is dried, I can go ahead and polish it after 36 to 72 hours. Today I'll be using the 1K clear coat provided in the Scratches Have Been paint kit, and I've used this product in the past, and this 1K clear coat brings great thickness and shine, so let's start applying the coats. Alright, it is a couple of days after I finished the painting for the front end, and look how beautiful it turned out. So this is the OEM color here. It's a bit dusty, but you get the idea. So this is the color, and this is the new color. Obviously the new paint is gonna be without any blemishes like the old paint here, but after I polish the bumper as well as the bonnet here, it's gonna look like one piece. The manufacturer instructions said that I had to wait for 72 hours before I could go ahead and polish the bumper, and by the time I was waiting for 72 hours to complete, I went ahead and took the car for inspection, and this car did not pass. And the reason is because I had this radiator support installed in the car, which is what you saw in the video. And when I went for inspection, apparently it turns out that this specific piece is not CAPA certified. So it depends on which region you are. For Canada, it has to be a CAPA certified product. For US, it probably has to be some other certification. And the weird dilemma is, because it was my first time installing such a critical structural integrity part in the car, I didn't know where to purchase it from, and I asked the inspector if he could recommend me a place where I can purchase this from. So I took the suggestion from the inspection guy, and I went ahead and purchased this radiator support from the place where he recommended. And after I got this product, the same inspector told me that he cannot pass my car because it has no CAPA certification. So because my hands were tied, I had to go ahead and get the new radiator support from the dealership, and I just installed it behind the camera. So this obviously looks exactly the same as that one. This one has a CAPA certification, that one doesn't. To be honest, I cannot tell the difference between them, but hey, it is what it is. This one is certified and that is not. And I just installed it behind the camera. And here is the reference part number if you guys are interested. So this is the part number for the radiator support if you guys want to go ahead and purchase. This came from Hyundai genuine part. And to be honest, this is 3 times more expensive than the economy option. And I guess it's my fault. I should have checked around and asked the right questions. But I'm going to take this as a learning experience. And next time I need to install something which is the critical structure component, I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's all certified and make sure I buy it from the right place. Alright, the car is now almost in one piece and I still don't have my grill. The grill is still on the way. I'm gonna go ahead and give the car a quick clean on the front end so I can start scuffing up the front bumper, both the front fenders as well as the hood. And after I'm done scuffing and drying it up, I'm gonna go ahead and start masking off panels that I don't want to polish, and then I can go ahead and start polishing. So now I can see my reflection of my hand on the OEM body panel here. So that's the idea. I want to get the same reflection quality on this area where I painted, and this should also continue overall and look like a mirror finish. Alright, the car is now completely scuffed and masked, so now I can go ahead and use my favorite polish. So I'm going to go ahead with the Meguiar's 105 and then use my soft pad on the rotary to start polishing with the first stage and probably even second stage. Alright, the car looks absolutely amazing. Look at the shine. It is not perfect. I know you can see some swirls and twirls here and there, but it is still way better than what it looked like. I'm happy with the results. The only pending task for this car will be cleaning the interior, which I'm already halfway done. I've vacuumed and cleaned up the big debris and everything. And for today's power wash, I went ahead and got myself a portable power wash kit. I haven't used this before, so this is the first time I'm gonna use this. The kit comes in a very nice briefcase and it comes with everything you would need to pressure wash your car at your home, in your driveway or your garage. It comes with a variable nozzle adjustment setting, which I'm gonna check in some time. It comes with the pressure washer gun itself, and it is also powered with a 30,000 mAh power battery. So I'm hoping this battery lasts for at least 1 or 2 complete washes, but I would also be satisfied if it even lasts for 1 complete car wash. It also comes with its own foam bottle for the soap and a filter if you want to dip the hose in a bucket. So I'm going to go ahead now and start assembling this and try it for the first time. Alright, the cordless spray gun is now ready. So now I'm going to go ahead and dip the other end in water and see what's the pressure like. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and test this. I have already dipped the other end in water. So this is with this nozzle. Look at that, the pressure is good. Alright, as you saw, this is an amazing pressure washer you can use to wash your car or anything that you want to pressure wash, like your car, your furniture, your floor, anything that you want to have a good wash with. You can also add that soap bottle right here and foam the car up. So I definitely recommend this product. I'm going to leave the Amazon link in the description. If you guys are interested, do check it out. Now I'm going to go ahead and complete the wash. Finally, the grill is here, just in time. So I'm gonna go ahead and test fit this on the bumper, and it should be a drop-in fitment. So now I can finally start clipping and screwing this in. Alright, the grill finally makes the car looks phenomenal, and it fit perfectly. And for the last piece of the puzzle, I made a quick run to the Hyundai dealership and found one last unit in stock for this Hyundai logo. And this should be an easy install with just 2 screws behind it. There you go guys, this completes my 2018 Salvage Santa Fe rebuild just in time before my wife arrives tomorrow in Canada. I am super happy with the results so far, and in the next episode I will discuss the total cost breakdown of this build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one.